Somewhere deep inside you, there is a warning you've been ignoring. A quiet voice keeps whispering that this pace, this lifestyle, this constant push to be more, do more, achieve more, is slowly destroying you. Burnout is not just exhaustion. It is a carefully cultivated system that stretches human limits while rewarding the illusion of control. The real story behind burnout culture is not what you think. It is not about laziness, weakness, or poor time management. It is about a world that measures your worth by how much you give before you even get. It is about invisible pressures that make every choice feel like survival, and every rest feel like guilt. Most people will tell you to work harder, to organize better, to hustle more. But no one tells you that the system itself is broken. Burnout is engineered. Exhaustion is profitable. The moments you feel empty are not failures of character, but inevitable consequences of living in a world that rewards output over life. Millions collapse quietly. They go through the motions, smile in public, perform strength, and yet inside their nervous system is screaming for relief. This is the hidden epidemic. Burnout is not a sign you are weak. It is a sign that you are human. Your mind and body are being asked to do more than they were built for. Burnout culture begins with a subtle lie. The lie is that your value is measured by productivity, that your success is proportional to your suffering, that rest is optional, that slowing down is a sign of failure. This lie has infiltrated every corner of modern life. It reaches corporate offices, online creators, students striving to perform, parents trying to provide, entrepreneurs chasing relevance, and caregivers sacrificing themselves. Even those who scroll endlessly on social media feel its weight. It glorifies sleepless nights and praises people who sacrifice health and happiness. Burnout convinces millions that if they feel tired, empty, or overwhelmed, it is their fault. In reality, the fault lies in a system designed to drain human energy while rewarding appearances. Burnout grows slowly. It begins with small compromises. The late nights you tell yourself are necessary. The skipped meals justified as convenient. The constant checking of messages because the world expects availability. The guilt you feel for saying no. Each concession steals a little more energy until your mind, body, and spirit can no longer keep up. Burnout is not a single moment. It is a gradual erosion of your capacity to feel alive. The world continues to applaud these behaviors, praising endurance as virtue when it is really internal collapse. Psychologically, burnout is not fatigue alone. It is a chronic stress disorder disguised as normal life. Emotional depletion, cognitive overload, loss of motivation, distorted self-worth, and a sense of futility define its path. It convinces you that you are failing while you are giving everything. It whispers that you must push harder and that others are doing more. Endurance at the expense of humanity is not strength. Yet, society rewards it. People continue because the culture values performance above presence, output above joy, and compliance above well-being. Economic pressures intensify burnout. Unstable jobs, rising costs, competitive markets, constant innovation, and social comparison create environments where people feel perpetually behind, inadequate, and racing. This pressure does not discriminate. It reaches ambitious young professionals, students striving for grades, parents juggling responsibilities, creatives building dreams, and caregivers who cannot allow themselves rest. Burnout knows no boundaries. It thrives in silence because admitting weakness is discouraged. Vulnerability is risky, and rest is treated as a luxury, not a right. Neuroscience explains why burnout feels unstoppable. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol, alters brain chemistry, reduces cognitive function, impairs memory, shrinks creativity, narrows emotional range, and rewires the brain to survive rather than live. The longer the exposure, the more exhaustion feels normal, the more emptiness feels normal, the more detachment feels normal. Yet, the world rewards this adaptation, praising people who keep going. Most are unaware of the cumulative damage until relationships fail, health declines, and life itself feels meaningless. Comparison fuels burnout further. Social media showcases curated success, constant updates, and the illusion that everyone else is ahead. This drives people to do more faster and longer, even when their minds and bodies are exhausted. This psychological pressure hijacks self-worth, triggers anxiety, and fuels a relentless cycle of effort and guilt. Burnout is not about work alone. It is about the invisible pressure to keep up with the impossible. The deeper truth is that burnout is not about what you do. It is about what you deny yourself. Rest, silence, pause, and emotional processing. Human rhythms were never meant to be replaced by endless deadlines, notifications, and obligations. Burnout is the cost of betraying your natural needs. It is the consequence of suppressing vulnerability, ignoring boundaries, and performing strength while internally imploding. Many feel disconnected from life, as if they are living someone else's script and no longer belong to the body and mind they inhabit. The emotional toll of burnout is immense. People feel guilt for resting, shame for slowing down, fear for missing out, anxiety for being behind, sadness for lost time, frustration for inefficiency, irritation over trivial matters, and numbness toward what once brought joy. Society tells them to endure silently, to hide struggles, to keep going. These pressures create a self-reinforcing cycle. Behaviors meant to create success instead create suffering. The more one pushes, the more one burns out. The more burnout normalizes, the more invisible it becomes, and the harder it is to reverse. Recovery does not begin with productivity hacks, motivational speeches, or discipline alone. It begins with awareness, compassion, and deliberate realignment with human needs. Recovery starts with noticing the signs, honoring limits, reclaiming rest, embracing boundaries, reconnecting with purpose, and choosing presence over performance. It begins with giving yourself permission to slow down without guilt, to pause without fear, and to rest without explanation. Recovery is not indulgence. It is survival. It is clarity. It is rebuilding the energy to feel alive, creative, and fully human again. Burnout culture can be resisted when individuals prioritize humanity over performance, presence over output, clarity over constant motion, and self-compassion over achievement. It is not about quitting life. It is about redesigning it to align with internal rhythms, values, and needs. Living fully requires honoring the mind and body as partners rather than obstacles. Burnout loses power the moment you recognize that rest is not weakness, vulnerability is not failure, and boundaries are not rebellion. Life becomes sustainable, meaningful, and engaged when these truths guide choices. The real story behind burnout culture is timeless and universal. It is deeply human. It is the tension between who we are and what the world demands. It is the internal conflict between survival and thriving, between endurance and living, between performance and being. Those who understand it can shift the narrative, reclaim energy, and design lives that are meaningful and fully engaged. Burnout is not your identity. It is a signal, a warning, a call to realign, reset, and return to yourself. If this message has reached you, do 4 things. Like this video to support the message. Comment your thoughts so others can join the conversation. Subscribe to become part of a community that values clarity, balance, and insight. And turn on the notification bell so you never miss content that can change the way you think, feel, and live.